The final trailer for the final season of Squid Game Season 3 was recently released, and what this trailer did that was so different to the other ones was it provided that element of conclusion and finality. It really hit home that this show was going to be coming to an end, and that this was it. With scenes from Season 1 and Season 2 being shown to us, which highlighted the entire point of the show and why Gi-Hun was there and the weight of responsibility that he felt. It seems like this final season is going to see his morals being tested in a completely different way, where he battles with the frontman and the soldiers, but also with himself. With Kang No-Eul looking like she's going to be facing off against the masked officer, Gi-Hun facing off against the frontman, and him potentially making it to the end. Let's dive into this video and break down all that there was to take away from the final trailer. Here is Squid Game Season 3, the final trailer explained. The first shot of the trailer was of Gi-Hun lying in bed, and I'm presuming this could be when he first wakes up after being taken back to the dormitory following him watching Jung-bae being killed. He looks in a somber state and also a reflective one too, so I feel he's going to have that sense of hopelessness and be struck with that feeling of grief and mourning. Player 149 said to him, "Are you blaming yourself for everything that's happened?" This is a piece of dialogue that I think is connected to a couple of different things with Gi-Hun. As this was said, it cut to flashbacks of where the entirety of the journey began for him. Him willingly choosing to participate in the games, him losing his money, and also him being with his daughter. So I think there's a connection there about him feeling like he was once a facilitator in enabling the existence of the games. But I also think she's saying this because following the uprising that happened, where many players ended up being killed, he could be feeling the weight of their deaths on his shoulders and feeling like it's all his fault. She then proceeded to say, "No matter how you look at it, life's just unfair." As this was said, it cut to Ali Abdul and Kang Se-byuk from Season 1, two characters that were arguably some of the most pure that we've seen in the show and two that didn't deserve to die. Se-byuk was there because she obviously wanted to make the money to support her family, and Ali Abdul was a genuine, pure, kind person who was so different to many of the others there. So the whole truth around life being unfair is something that holds up because if it was fair, then they wouldn't have died in the way that they did. But I'd say it also connects to the wider theme of the show and how the rich are exploiting the poor and the struggling for the simple means of entertainment. Within the flashbacks, the line, "Don't do it, you're not that kind of person," which was spoken by Se-byuk as Gi-Hun was brandishing a knife, was telling of the type of person that he actually is. And that he stands out when compared to many of the others that are in there, opting to not go with violence on his peers. And I think this line was chosen because Gi-Hun's moral values will be tested in this new season, and we'll see him having to potentially kill in order to survive, which could shift his mindset slightly. Gi-Hun is in there as the protector, and his sole purpose is to shut the games down and save the people, but it seems like that might not necessarily be the case. Following this, Player 149 said, "Bad people do bad things, but they blame others and go on to live in peace. Good people, on the other hand, beat themselves up about the smallest things. I still believe that you came here to save us all." I thought this was actually quite a powerful piece of dialogue because it's rather telling of society. Bad people do bad things and go on to live in peace. Take a criminal, for example. They'll do something terrible, potentially get away with it, or even if they get caught, their victims are the ones that have the trauma and are left feeling the weight of what's happened. And then, when it comes to the good people, those people are simply out there trying to survive and do the best they can, but they end up getting caught up on the small things. The things that end up being what drives their mind into a spiral and potentially ruins them. With her also saying, "I believe you came here to save us all," she's somebody that clearly sees the good in Gi-Hun and understands what he's trying to do. I think Gi-Hun will most likely end up saving them, or the endgame could be him sacrificing himself in order to stop the games, which would show just how selfless of a person he actually is, and how much it means for him. The whole idea of people being exploited and killed as a means of entertainment for the elite is something that he despises. Then following this, we got the new footage from the trailer. The first clip was one that we've seen quite a few times, and it's of the coffin being brought into the dormitory with blood all over the floor. The beds all appear to be flipped over as well, so I'm guessing that this is them coming in to collect the bodies of the contestants that ended up dying following the fighting that took place in the Season 2 finale. We've only seen one coffin, but I reckon the shot will open up and there'll be plenty more coffins and soldiers that will be entering to collect the dead. The next new piece of footage was of the VIPs being served dinner. The VIPs didn't appear at all in Season 2 of the show, and based on the previous trailer, we know that they're going to be watching the games unfolding with the screens that appear in front of them. So it's going to be interesting to see if anything actually ends up happening to them during Season 3. Following this, we got one of my favourite shots in the entire trailer, and it appeared as though the masked officer was fighting with a soldier in an elevator. The soldier was of the triangle rank, so I'm guessing that it's going to be Kang No-Eul. We know that she has a beef with the masked officer following their 7-year history and him telling her to not interfere with the games. She has this desire to find her child, and it seems like the masked officer was willing to help her. But I'm imagining with her becoming a problem to the games, maybe he might look to deal with her by himself. So I'm intrigued to see who's going to get out of this situation alive. In the previous trailer, there was a clip of Kang No-Eul with her mask off and she had some cuts and grazes on her. So I hope that maybe she's the one that does make it out of there. The next shot was then of the contestants walking towards the red light green light jump rope hybrid game, which we know has been confirmed following the previous trailer. This trailer did give a little bit more of an inclination as to how the game was going to unfold. There appeared to be a timer on the wall, which makes me think that the contestants are going to have to do the jump rope for the time that's allocated. But mixed in with the red light green light, when it goes red, the rope will stop and they'll probably not be allowed to move. So it's going to be an interesting game to follow, with the stakes being so high. After this, there was a shot of player 149 hugging somebody, and I'm guessing this is Gi-Hun. This appears to be during the game where the two opposing colours need to fight one another when they meet during the maze. Gi-Hun, being the type of person that he is, probably won't hurt her because he's not that kind of person, as was shown to us in the early part of the trailer by Kang Byuk. So her being in tears might be the overwhelming emotion that she's going to be feeling. Or, as we know, her son was placed on the opposing team, so I wonder if this is after the game and she's going to find out that maybe he's been killed. Then, for the first time out of all of the trailers, we got to see what Jun Ho has been up to and the fact that he's trying to get to the island. It seems like the boat is going to be getting closer and closer to the island, and the soldiers are going to be aware of it and will be going after him. The show has kept Jun Ho's story quite quiet, so I am really intrigued to see where it's going to go. We also know that there's a double crosser on that boat, so that could be how the soldiers are going to find out about it. The next shot was then of Jun Hee, player 222, looking directly down the camera and being in tears. I wonder if she's going to be facing death in this scene, or if Myung-ji is going to be killed right in front of her, and that's why she's in tears. I couldn't see her being upset about anything else other than those two things. The next part of the trailer then saw Gi-Hun in his dinner outfit, which shows that he's going to be making it through to the final rounds of the games, as that's when dinner occurs. So he's definitely going to be surviving. As he was sitting there, the soldier said, "He wants to see you," which is implying that the frontman wants to meet with him. During this, we then caught a glimpse into a different type of game that's going to be on the horizon. One where a player has to put their foot on a button and it goes from being red to green. This is the first time that this game has been hinted to us, so honestly it could genuinely be anything. As Gi-Hun was walking towards the frontman, he said the words, "I'm trying to put an end to it," which I'm imagining is still part of that conversation from the early part of the trailer when she said that she believed that he was there to save all of them. Then after that, the trailer came to a close. With only 2 weeks to go until the final season of Squid Game gets released, all we can do now is theorize and get ready to say goodbye to the #1 show in the world. So, there you have it, Squid Game Season 3 final trailer explained. If you want to see a full breakdown of Season 2 of Squid Game, then check the video below. I've also done a ton of videos on Squid Game, so I've put the playlist there too. As always, thanks for tuning into the video and I'll see you in the next one.